Have you ever been aggravated with yourself that you can't ever seem to follow through on all those great ideas you have? You've got new recipes you want to try, activities you want to do with all the kids, trips you want to take for summer vacation, all the ideas. But very few of them actually come to fruition. Or do you feel like you should be able to come up with all the great Pinterest-worthy creative ideas for your kids, but you just draw a blank whenever you try? If someone else comes up with the ideas, you are absolutely down for making them happen, but you just can't pop out those great ideas like your friend down the street. I have great news for you. There is a very logical, very encouraging reason you feel that way. And it's all explained with one tool that I cannot wait to share with you today. It is going to help your entire life as a stay-at-home mom finally make sense. And it's going to allow you to finally appreciate how both you and your entire family are designed to work together. Let's do this. Do you want to be an amazing, present mom and have a real identity of your own, but you struggle with mom guilt and complete overwhelm when you even think about trying to do something just for you? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Laura, a former teacher and university career counselor turned stay-at-home homeschooling mom of two. Over the years, I've learned a thing or two about how to be the present, engaged mom I've always wanted to be and rediscover my own personal identity at the same time. So, if you're ready to rebuild your identity, rediscover your confidence, and let go of the mom guilt, then get the kiddos settled and grab an earbud because this podcast is for you. Real quick, before we dive into this week's episode, did you know we now have a free community of mamas just like you? Mamas who are trying to discover who they are and who they're meant to be in this phase of life. We're sharing mom life, self-discovery, and that oh so important encouragement over in our Facebook group. So come check us out. It's at scatteredwoman.com/community. I cannot wait to see you inside. Almost 2 years ago, I was having a high-speed come apart about my virtual assistance business. I felt burnt out, and worst of all, I felt like because I was burnt out, I was being a terrible wife and mom. I was cranky, I was grumpy, and I had zero patience for my crazy baby that was just learning how to push all my buttons. So I started talking with a parenting and homeschool coach. She really helped me work through a lot in just a few short weeks, but the biggest thing she recommended to me was to look into the 6 types of working genius. I'd never heard of it before, but being the good little student that I am, I did what she recommended. I listened to the audiobook, I binged the podcast, and ultimately convinced my husband to take the Working Genius assessment along with me and then have a Working Genius coach walk us through what our Working Genius results were and show us how understanding how we work could help us improve our marriage and our family dynamics. To say that that Working Genius session was life-changing would be a complete understatement. Not only was I finally able to pinpoint why I was so burnt out in my business, but Eric and I finally had a language to ask for what we needed from each other and express appreciation for the work we do to keep the household running. I'd never had that before. I've used the personalities and the Wired That Way profile for almost 20 years now, and I stand by it. It is powerful for relationships. So while I knew that my dear phlegmatic husband desperately needed respect for who he was, not what he did, I have always struggled to give it to him. For me, as a melancholy choleric, I tend to give respect based on what people do and how competently they do it. And for the previous 13 years at that point, Eric had always fallen short in terms of productivity and competency, just because that was not his priority when he was at home. After a long day at work, he came home and he wanted peace and calm and rest. And right when he came home, that's when I was finally gearing up to get things done. We just tend to operate on very opposite ends of the spectrum. So we've always had tension when it comes to respect and work. And I just felt like a failure as a wife because I couldn't make myself give him what he needed. I knew he needed it. I knew he needed respect, but I just could not make myself give it to him. But once I understood that Eric's working geniuses are on the complete opposite end of the chart from mine, and he was doing work that I absolutely hated doing, I was finally able to see and appreciate the work that he was doing. I just wasn't able to see it before. Once I had the working genius, I had a lens to view what he was doing as work. And not only just work that I hated doing. So I was more than happy to acknowledge the fact that he was doing work I didn't want to do. Now, before I get too far in here, let me just step back and give you a quick overview about what the 6 types of working genius are and what they're all about. So, what is this thing? What are these 6 types of working genius? Basically, it is 20% personality tool and 80% productivity tool. So it's still somewhat of a personality tool, but it really is more focused on how we do work. And the basic theory is that there are 6 different stages and types of work within any given project. So all of us are great at 2 of those 6 types. They give us joy, they give us energy, and those 2 types are called our working geniuses. Then there are 2 types that we can do that we might even be good at, but they don't give us that same joy and energy that our working geniuses do. These are our working competencies. We can do them, but if we do them too long, they can leave us feeling drained and cranky. Hand up in the air right now. That was so me. And then the last 2 types of those 6 types of work are our working frustrations. These are the 2 types of work that leave us whining, please don't make me do that. This type of work quickly robs us of joy and energy, and quite frankly, we're not often very good at these types of tasks because we just plain don't enjoy them. This whole theory just gives us a language to actually work together. Like running a household together. That's why it was so important for me and Eric to do this together. This tool originally was designed to explain work within corporate teams, but it works so well for all kinds of work that it just made absolute sense of my stay-at-home mom life and the dynamics between my husband, me, our kids. It just makes everything finally make so much sense. Okay, so we know there are 6 stages of work. What are they? Let's walk through that real quick. The first stage is wonder. This is when someone looks around and says, I wonder why that is the way it is. I wonder if we could do it better, if we could do it differently. I wonder what would happen if we... ... You get the idea. Wonder kicks off the process of work by identifying a possible problem, a problem to solve or a solution to tweak. So let's say we have a stay-at-home mom with the working genius of wonder. Actually, let's say we have 6 moms and they all have different working geniuses. We've got 1 mom for each of the 6 working geniuses. Yeah, let's do that. So let's start with the stay-at-home mom with the working genius of wonder. She might say, our backyard is so boring. I wonder what we could do with it to make it more fun for the kids. Problem identified. So once that problem has been identified, then we move to the second stage of work, which is invention. Invention comes up with a million ideas for how the problem could be solved. Thinking outside the box is not a problem for inventors. Creative thinking is their strong suit. You'll often hear them saying things like, "Ooh, I have an idea," or "What if we... ... You hear this in our house all the time because my daughter and I are both this way. Once the problem is identified, then inventors go to work brainstorming all the possible different ways they could solve that problem. So once the Wanderer mom in our scenario with the 6 moms identifies the boring backyard problem, the mom with the genius of invention is going to step in and start coming up with all sorts of ideas to make that place seem more fun. We could get a trampoline, or maybe a jungle gym, or a swing set, or a sunroom edition where they could play inside. There is no shortage of ideas here. Then, once all those ideas have been thrown out there, we move to the third stage of work, which is discernment. So someone with the genius of discernment is going to step in and start organizing the chaos. They're going to look at each idea and discern whether it is truly a good idea, if it needs tweaking, or if it's a terrible idea that would never work and it should just be thrown out. Discerners can actually come across as Debbie Downers or like they're raining on your parade of great ideas, but they're really just being practical and deciding which of your awesome ideas might work best. So in our scenario, once the inventor mom throws out all of her ideas, the discerner mom's going to take those ideas and start sifting. She's thinking and processing, and she's saying, if we got a trampoline, our homeowner's insurance would probably go up. Can we really afford that? What type of playground would be best for our kids? I mean, they're 6, 10, 4 right now. How long would that play set possibly last them? Would they outgrow it really quickly? Is it going to be worth the money? Maybe a sunroom might actually be our best long-term investment because they could use it during the winter. They could use it during the summer. They wouldn't really outgrow it. So she's running through all the possible options. And then once the inventor and the discerner moms go back and forth a bit with new ideas and tweaking ideas, let's say they come to the conclusion that they need to do the sunroom. That's their best option for this boring backyard. Then we move into the fourth stage of work, which is galvanizing. So the mom with the genius of galvanizing is going to step in and say, that's a great idea. Let's do it. And she immediately starts rallying the troops, getting everybody excited for the project, talking it up with friends and neighbors with skills to see if they could help them actually get the build going. Galvanizers are amazing at convincing other people to jump in and help make the project take off. They are the cheerleaders and the coaches who are enthusiastic and energized and somehow magically manage to get everybody enthused and energized right along with them. I have none of this. So I am amazed when I run across galvanizers who are able to just make things happen and get everybody excited and going in the right direction. So once we've got everybody excited and ready to dive in, we move into the fifth stage of work, which is enablement. So once the troops are rallied, someone with the genius of enablement is going to step in and ask, how can I help? Put me to work. They are so willing to help. Just tell them what to do and they'll do it. They're not troubleshooters. They're not idea people. They are the boots on the ground, get her done types. The work just plain doesn't get done without these folks. So in our example, once the galvanizer mom gets everybody excited and heading in the right direction, the moms with enablement show up with tape measures, tools, contractor friends, and they actually start building the sunroom. We're doing the actual work now. So we do the work and we do the work, and then we eventually run into problems. And then we enter our sixth stage of work, which is tenacity. We bump into problems, we need to troubleshoot, and folks with tenacity do whatever needs doing to push the project across the finish line. So once our enablement moms show up with hammers and power tools and the walls start going up, let's say they run into a problem with permits or one of the contractors flakes out. The mom with tenacity is going to go to work figuring out how to make the permits happen, finding another contractor, generally just doing whatever needs doing to get a completely finished, polished sunroom so that we can finally end that project. Those are the 6 types of working genius: wonder, invention, discernment, galvanizing, enablement, tenacity. Are you able to hear yourself in a couple of those types? Or did a couple of them sound like absolute torture? You may have a pretty good idea what 1 or 2 of your geniuses or frustrations might be already. That's where Eric and I were. We figured out at least one of our geniuses and one of our frustrations just by my reading the book and listening to the podcast. But when we finally sat down and did the assessment, That's what gave us the whole picture, and I highly recommend it. What we figured out was that I have geniuses in discernment and invention. So I am great at coming up with ideas to solve a problem and then deciding if those possible solutions are any good, if they're workable. I'm good at those early stages of work, the brain work. And understanding that about myself explained so much about why I had been increasingly frustrated with my VA work. Even though I loved my clients and truly believed in what they were offering the world, most of my work for them fell under enablement, which was a working frustration for me, and tenacity, which was a working competency for me. I'm good at it, but I do not enjoy it at all. So, with all this enablement and tenacity work I was doing, I wasn't getting to do much inventing at all. It also explained so much about how I function as a stay at home mom. It explained why I'm great at creating a fabulous meal plan, but often forget, to thaw the chicken, or I neglect to pick up some crucial ingredient, which leaves us scrambling for a backup plan or eating out way more often than is good for us. It explained why I can manage to start the laundry and maybe even switch it over to the dryer most of the time. But then I live with baskets of clean clothes all over our living room that I just can't seem to ever sit down and fold. It also explained why those things about me drive my husband nuts. Eric has geniuses in enablement and tenacity, the last two stages of work, the ones that implement the plan and push it through to completion. He could not understand why I couldn't just sit down and fold the dadgum laundry when it came out of the dryer. He couldn't understand why I couldn't make the meal plan work consistently. How hard is it to just remember to thaw the chicken? Why couldn't I just finish something? But now he gets it. He's able to appreciate my creative brainstorming and then help me figure out which option is going to work best. Plus, Working Genius finally gave me a language for verbally affirming and appreciating what Eric brought to our relationship. I come up with a million ideas and lists of things that we should do, but he is the one who actually pushes us to do them. You'd think, as a nearly 100% task-focused melancholy choleric, that I would be the one making us get things done. But I am absolutely not. When I am forced to take on that role, I get really grumpy, and no one wants to work with me at that point. Just recognizing that Eric is the one who can do the enablement and tenacity tasks to see the project to completion has been so freeing for me and for him. I'm not having to constantly work outside of my geniuses to push us to get moving and finish things. Eric can let me lead when it comes to ideas and deciding what will work best for our family. And then I can lean on him to push us to finish and finally get things done. Even better, Eric's finally getting the respect and appreciation he deserves and craves because I'm able to see the work he's doing and name the value that he brings to our life and our family. Game changer. I am pretty sure that every time I've talked with a stay-at-home mom in the past 2 years, I've brought up the Working Genius model and how it can help whatever situation they're facing. It is amazing to me how versatile and impactful it is. Understanding the 6 types of working genius has helped me make sense of so many different areas of my mosaic mom life where I had been struggling. It's like I can finally see the mosaic clearly. And I'm not mystified about how I fit into my family or into the world around me. I know what I bring to the table. And I can finally see what others have to offer too. I want that for you, mama. Maybe you're burnt out as a stay-at-home mom and you can't figure out why. You wanted this life for so long, and now that you're living it, you can't understand why you're so frustrated. Or maybe you're like me and you had a hard time showing your husband respect, and you need this working genius language to finally help you see and appreciate how he's wired and what he brings to your family. So whatever you're struggling with as a stay-at-home mom, here's your homework. Check out the 6 types of working genius. Whether you do the book or the audiobook, you can get it from your local library. You can get it on Audible. You can order a copy from Amazon. Whatever works from you, just start learning. I will give you this heads up though. During the story section of the book, very beginning, there's a bit of language. So if you're listening and don't want little ears exposed to that, be sure to use earbuds. Once he gets into the explanation part at the end of the book, everything's clean. I don't know why he felt the need to throw language in there, but it's there, and then it clears up again. The author of the book is Pat Lencioni, and he also has a podcast where he talks about all the different aspects and applications of Working Genius. It is absolutely worth a listen. So I'll drop links to all the Working Genius things in the show notes, so be sure to check there to get started. And then once you've had some time to dig through it and figure out where you land on the spectrum, I would love to hear your thoughts over in the Facebook group. Just so you know, our Your Mosaic Mom Life Facebook group is totally free to join. It's just a place where you can get extra support from me and other mamas who are working through their own journeys to rediscovering who they are and who they're meant to be. In the group, you're going to find all the free resources that I create or share with you, like all these links to the Working Genius resources, and you have a space to share your thoughts and your experiences about all the things that we talk about here on the podcast. So head over to scatteredwoman.com/community to join, and I cannot wait to hear from you. Thanks for taking time to hang out with me today. I hope you'll discover new pieces of your Mosaic Mom Life each week. If you've got a quick minute between those never-ending snack requests from your kiddos, I'd love for you to leave a quick review over on the Your Mosaic Mom Life page on Apple Podcasts. Those reviews help other moms find the show, discover their unique purpose, and start building a life they'll love too. Well, that's it for now. Be sure to check back next week for another new episode, and I'll be talking with you again soon.